श्री ज्ञानेश्वरी। श्री गणेशाय नमः। श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्री गोपालकृष्णाय नमः। Chapter 6 Dhyana Yoga continued. Shloka number 14. Then with a serene mind and becoming fearless and firm in the vow of chastity, the yogi should control his mind, thinking of me, and remain devoted to me. Then the volition subsides, activity becomes calm, and the functions of the body and the mind stand still. Then thoughts of hunger and sleep do not bother him, and he does not even remember them. The in-breath, which was confined by the anal constriction, that is Moolabandh, moves backwards till it reaches the navel center, that is Manipur. Then this expanded in-breath churns the belly from all sides and removes the impurities therein. But instead of rolling at the bottom, it enters the belly and destroys the bile and phlegm therein. It calms the nerves and makes the limbs loose. Sometimes this frightens the spiritual aspirant, but he should not waver. It gives rise to illness, but cures it also instantaneously. O Arjun, next, the heat generated by the posture wakes up the serpent power known as Kundalini. She is like a streak of lightning, or a fold of flame, or a polished band of pure gold. This Kundalini, sitting crowded at the navel center, wakes up when she gets pushed by the anal constriction, that is Moolabandh. This serpent power eats up all the solid stuff in the body and leaves nothing of the watery parts also. When she eats this solid and liquid parts of the body, she becomes satisfied and remains calm in the spinal cord. In this state of satiation, the venom she spits turns into nectar and sustains life. The fiery venom which comes out cools internally the body, which regains once again the strength which it had lost. This nectar begins to flow into the mouth of the Kundalini and fills her, then spreads to the whole body and is soaked therein by the aid of prana. And then the body assumes a complexion so comely as though it is fashioned out of crystal or has sprouted from a gem. Then old age recedes, youthfulness takes a leap backwards, and the childhood, which had long passed, returns. Even though he looks so young, he performs great feats, and his courage is equally great and unexcelled. Even the death god stands in awe of that figure. Then the yogi can see beyond the seas, hear the sounds of heaven, and comprehend the desire of an ant. He can ride on the wind, walk on water without wetting his feet, and in this way he acquires many miraculous powers. Holding the hand of prana and climbing the steps in the regions of the heart, the Kundalini reaches the heart center through the spinal cord. This Kundalini is the mother of the world, who illumines the self and gives shade to the sprouted seed of the universe. It is the embodiment of the formless Brahman, the cask of Lord Shiva, the mainspring of the sacred syllable Om. When this youthful Kundalini enters the heart center, she begins to utter unbeaten sounds. As long as prana remains, these subtle sounds are produced in the region of the heart. When the heart resounds with these sounds, resembling the rumbling of clouds, then the window to the Brahmarandra readily opens. Then the Kundalini enters the lotus of the heart center, where she gives up her fiery complexion and remains in a gaseous state. Here she looks like a gold chain, or like a water flowing from a spring of light. Then all of a sudden she subsides into the heart, and her form merges into the formless Shakti. Although she is called Shakti, she is still in the form of gas, that is Vayu. At that time, one is not aware of the Nad, or the Bindu, or of the Kala Jyoti. Then the conquest of the mind, the support of breath control, and resort to meditation do not survive. and thought and its absence come to a stop. 15. By applying himself thus constantly, the self-controlled yogi attains peace consisting of infinite bliss that abides in me. When the yogi attains to this state, his body works wonders in the world. When he walks leaving a trail behind him, then the 8 miraculous powers wait upon him at every step. But of what avail are these powers to us? O Arjun, the elements of earth, water and fire get dissolved in the body. The earth is dissolved by water, water by fire, and the wind dissolves the fire in the heart. Then the wind alone remains, but in the form of the body, and that too becomes absorbed in the sky of the Brahmarandhra. She retains her Shakti form until she becomes one with Brahman. Now she is not known as Kundalini, but takes on the name Ariel, that is Marut. Then leaving the Jalandhar Bandha and breaking open the end of the Sushumna Nadi, she enters the Chidakash of the Brahmarandhra. Placing her foot on the back of Omkara, she then crosses the second stage of speech known as Pashyanti. Then she pierces the half crescent mantra of Om and enters the Chidakash, as the river enters the sea. Making herself steady in the Brahmarandhra with the conviction that I am Brahman, she opens her arms and embraces the Brahman there. Then, with the destruction of the veil of the 5 great elements, results the union of Shiva and Shakti. Then, she along with the Chidakash becomes merged in the bliss of Brahman, just as the sea water being transformed into clouds by the process of evaporation, and the clouds pouring down into the waters ultimately rejoin the sea. In the same way, the embodied self by the means of the human body enters the abode of Brahman and becomes united with it. At this stage, all doubt or discussion whether there is duality or unity comes to an end. When a person experiences this state in which the Chidakash becomes merged in Akash, he becomes one with it. This state cannot be possibly expressed in words. When the vital breath Pran with great difficulty enters the Chidakash and merges in it, the expressive power of words comes to an end. And then even the Akash becomes attenuated, so that one finds it difficult to trace it in the deep waters of the unmanifest state of the Absolute. Of what avail are words then? Then nothing remains to be known. This is the beautiful state of mental absorption, the youthful state of Samadhi, in which the yogi becomes one with Brahman. It is beginningless and unfathomable. This Brahman is the origin of the 5 great elements, the light of light. In short, it is my own essence. Then Arjun said, I have listened carefully to the yoga which you have preached, but is it possible for anyone to practice it, or only one with the requisite capacity can follow it? Then Sri Krishna replied, O Arjun, what a question to ask. The practice of this yoga conduces to liberation, but only if there is such ability, the work undertaken can be completed. But this capacity is not a thing which can be had merely because it is desired. Only a person who performs his prescribed duty with disinterestedness can attain this capacity. You yourself could acquire this capacity by following this device. With this we complete Part 4 of Chapter 6. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Hari Om.